Hello and welcome everybody for this episode of the Mind Explorations Irish Hypnotherapy Conference Specials 2025. We are getting closer and closer to the conference, which is on April 5th and 6th this year in Dublin. And we have pre and post conference workshops as well. And one of those workshops is going to be around money blocks. And Helen is here with us today. She's going to be running that workshop with her group, the Hypnosis
Hypnosis
Healers.
healers.
And so let me say, welcome, Helen. Good to have you here. Hi.
Thank you, Astrid. It is a pleasure to be here. And I'm in Canada. You are in Amsterdam, is it?
Amsterdam. Yeah, we're
I
all
love this. I
international.
love the international ability, the ability to speak internationally here on Zoom. I love that. And it's such a gift to meet everybody here today.
Wonderful. Okay, so Helen, let's get into this. First
Okay.
of all, let us talk about your history. First of all, what did you do before you became a hypnotist? Because everybody has a history before hypnosis. We don't decide right after school that we're going to start being hypnotherapists. So, what did you do before, and what made you become a hypnotist?
The funny thing is, years ago, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I had picked up a book called Hypnosis for Dummies or Hypnotizing People for Dummies, something like that. And I had read it and thought this would be cool. And then I put it aside because I thought, well, I can't really have people come to my home. The kids are little. I don't know if I could afford a practice, that whole thing. So the seed was planted. And from there, I started as a professional organizer,
Mhm.
organizing and decluttering homes. And I started life coaching as well, because those two really do go hand in hand. I was a life coach for about 20 years. I also did a TV show, as you said, which was, it's called Neat. And it was about going into cluttered homes, helping them declutter, and then coaching them to
Yeah.
create the life that they want once the clarity came in.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that hypnosis is not that different because it's rather than decluttering homes, I'm decluttering minds to help people find the clarity and the peace. So I found hypnosis again during COVID. I think a lot of us did. I just took a general interest course and then just happened to meet the right people and took Carl's course, took Mike Mandel's course, really a lot of training
Mhm.
and just jumped in. I met a group of ladies called the Hypnosis Healers in one of my trainings. And when we met, it was magic. It was a sisterhood. And we decided right then and there that we were going to do women's retreats because we wanted to share the light. And 6 months after meeting, we ran our first sold out retreat.
Wow.
Since then, we've been doing sold out retreats at the best spa. It was named the number one spa in Canada, and I think the number two or three in North America. And we have loved doing it.
Mhm.
It's been such an honor to meet so many women who are ready to make these positive changes in their lives. And if we could just, be that little spark that gets them on their journey, it's an honor.
Yeah, wonderful. So where in Canada are you based? Because Canada's quite large.
I'm in Toronto,
Toronto. All right. So that's
or
where
as
you
we
have the
say,
retreat.
Toronto.
Oh.
We say Toronto.
So, um, so do you still run those retreats now in that
We
spa?
do.
You do. One.
Yes, we
Okay.
do. It's at St. Anne's Spa. For those of you who know, if you're in Ontario, you definitely know the spa. It's a luxurious place, and we integrate spa services with our retreats as well. So you're not only growing, internally, but also you get your facials and your massage and whatever else. So externally, you're feeling good too.
Wow. Okay. And while you're doing all of that, you're also working on women's mindsets. Is it only women or do you get men as well?
Well, at that retreat, it's a women's retreat.
Okay. Yeah.
However, the workshop that we're doing in Ireland post-conference, which is open to everyone, not just attendees, by the
Mm.
way, that is for men or women. And
Right.
it's specifically for people who are in this healing industry, whether you're a hypnotherapist, a coach, a massage therapist, a Reiki practitioner, anyone that is running a business and is in this healing profession. We have noticed that there is a lot of undercharging and overgiving.
Okay. So why
And
do you
because,
think that is?
well, we're givers,
Yeah.
right? We're givers. We want to help people. That's why we got into this profession, I think most of us. However, you reach a point where if you're always giving, it's like the cup, right? You're always pouring the water and then you end up with an empty cup.
Mm.
And what happens is your business may not be sustainable anymore. And next thing you know, you're going back to your 9 to 5, which, is sad. And so we want to get the message out there that you need to charge what you're worth in order to have a sustainable business so you can continue to have an impact and help people.
Okay, so let me imagine I'm one of those people who totally undercharge. How do I know I'm undercharging?
Okay. So it's less about the amount you're charging and more about how you feel when you give your price. So your client will say, oh, well, that sounds really awesome. You're in a consultation and they ask you the question, right? How
Mhm.
much?
Yeah.
And if you want to charge what you know it's worth, the going rate in your neighborhood, whatever it is, and you get that feeling in your stomach, oh, what if they think it's too expensive? What if I can't deliver the value for that price? Like when you think about that, do you feel that somewhere in your body?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some people feel it sort of in the pit of their stomach or their solar plexus. It's that discomfort about saying, this is my price. Or you say your price and then you start justifying, oh, and well, I'll throw in this and I'll throw in that. And I'll go over the hour because, you want to give them the value, but you're already giving the value. It's just that you need to know that you're giving the value. And you are. If you're in this industry and you've been trained, you're giving the value. You know what you need to do. You have the skills, you have the ability,
Hmm.
right? So it's knowing that you deserve that money.
Okay, but most of us will say, yeah, but my clients can't afford this.
Yes, it happens. However, I don't know about you, but I was in a situation where I was a stay-at-home mom and barely had enough money to pay for diapers.
Hmm.
And I wanted to take a coaching course.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of money. And it was in another country. And I found the money.
Right.
And so if someone is truly committed, they will find the money.
Hmm.
And so you bring up another great point. I would say if you're giving it for free or for a very minimum rate, then you're not going to get the commitment from a client.
Yeah.
That's also very interesting, right? The more people pay, the more committed they are. Have you ever taken a free course or gotten a free ebook and never gotten around to reading it or watching the video because you didn't
Yeah.
pay? But if you had paid a substantial amount of money for it, you would be committed, you would be watching it, you'd be reading it, you'd be doing the work. And so when we undercharge or do it for free, then we're doing a disservice to the client. Now, of course, there's always some volunteer work that, if in extreme situations we might decide, okay, in this particular case, I'm going to do some volunteer work. But there does need to be some exchange of energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you approach that with somebody who says, okay, I'm undercharging, I don't feel good while I'm saying my price, so I always go down or I expand my offer. How would you suggest they start
Yeah,
changing?
great question. Great question. The first thing is to become aware of your beliefs.
Mhm.
What do you think about money? What are your thoughts about money? Have you been raised thinking that money doesn't grow on trees? You have to work extremely hard to make money. Money is greedy. Money is the root of all evil, right? So this is society passing on these beliefs. It's our parents. It's their parents. It's generational, and sometimes we're not even aware that it's running in the background, and we're sabotaging ourselves. So even if we do make a little bit of money, next thing you know, it's out the door. There's a repair that needs to happen, or there's been an emergency that you need money for. And so awareness is so important. Become
Mm.
aware of your top beliefs about money. And so for those who are watching, if they want to play along, I would say, if I ask you, what are your thoughts about money? Just jot down, the first thing that comes to you, first thing that pops in your mind, and we'll explore that later on. But becoming aware of the limiting beliefs is the first step, and then doing some healing around it. And of course, we know there's so many different tools for healing, right?
Mm.
There is hypnosis, there is emotional freedom technique or tapping, there is havening, there is breath work, there is Reiki. There's just like so many healing modalities.
Hmm.
And because there's four of us in the hypnosis healers and we've all been trained in different modalities, we are attacking this from all ends and doing so much healing during the workshop and also the post-conference workshop that we're offering because this is not a conscious thing.
Hmm.
We could write down, what our limiting belief is. There's a lot more than those, and sometimes we don't even know which ones are running in the background and sabotaging us. So we need to actually get to the subconscious mind, and as hypnotists, we all know that you
Yeah.
can't fix consciously what was installed on a subconscious level.
Hmm. That's true. Um,
Mm.
so how, the workshop itself then is for, well, for therapists, but not to teach them how to get rid of money mindset issues in their clients, but for the therapists themselves. That's a difference
Yes.
to all the other workshops we have, isn't it? So you're not learning a new skill, you are
Well, the thing
improving.
is, well, the interesting thing is that if you heal it within you, you are in a much better position to heal it within your client. Otherwise, there's that imposter syndrome. How can I
Mm,
help my
mm,
client overcome money beliefs if I am struggling with that myself? Like, if I'm stressed about paying my bills at the end of the month, if I'm noticing that when money comes in, it goes out, or if I'm blocking my own success and my clients are not flowing in,
mm.
then how can I heal someone else? There's a lot of imposter syndrome there. So yes, once you heal yourself and you watch how we do it, you will learn how to do it. You'll
Ah,
learn from us. You'll watch what we do, and you can
yeah,
do that with your clients. But really, I think we attract people that were where we were at one time, and that's how we're able to help them,
yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah. So I just thought of something because there are manifestation, etc. Do you do that as well, or is that something you don't really have on your radar
Well,
for?
money is energy. That's
Yeah.
that's the main thing. So yes, it's less about manifestation and more about stop blocking it from coming
Hmm.
at you. It's there. It's already out there for us.
Hmm.
Think about they're printing money all the time. There is no shortage of money. There really isn't.
Yeah.
They're printing it all the time. It's that we are blocking it
Hmm.
subconsciously with these beliefs.
Hmm. So how do
I
we?
actually did. I actually did a YouTube video, and I used this. I happen to have it here. Let me show you. Do you remember this game as a kid? I don't know if you. It's kind of blurry because I have my.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a
I think. Yeah.
Kerplunk game.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh
And
yeah.
so and so that's how I demonstrate how the beliefs block the flow of money. We can put the link in later, and people can
Yeah.
watch it. But
Sure. Yeah.
basically, it's once you remove these blocks, right, then the marbles start flowing down so
Yeah.
easily. And
Right.
it's the same thing. It's not like you have to, try and manifest it. We will talk a little bit about seeing it to the end, which is Neville Goddard, right? Seeing the success, seeing the money and the abundance coming in. That's a
Yeah.
big part of it. However, if you're blocking it and saying, oh no, well, that could never be me, then it's
Mm.
not all the manifesting in the world, all the law of attraction stuff, it's not going to work because it's like
Yeah.
you've got the wall, right? The
Yeah.
money wants to come in, but you're blocking it with this wall. And we need to take the wall down brick by brick.
Hmm. So that wall, okay, what's the mechanics behind this? You are blocking with your beliefs. What actually does that mean? Do you yourself do things that sabotage yourself because of those beliefs? How does that work?
Yes, absolutely. It's the body language even when you're giving your price to a client and you feel
Yeah.
like you don't deserve it. Just something as simple as body language or spending it before you really thought through, do I even want it? Just to make
Mm.
yourself feel good in that moment is
Yeah.
just grabbing that immediate gratification. But it's also becoming the person you want to be. And I think that's a big part of it. Um, you know, I think back to some of the things I used to do before I learned about money mindset. and it was the tea bag. I would reuse the tea bag. So I would make myself a cup of tea at night and just put it on a little plate. And then the next morning, even though it was all dried up and shriveled up, I would make a tea with that bag. And one time I just said, why am I doing this? I think this
Yeah.
is something that was passed down from my parents and
Mm.
probably their parents, and I never even was aware of it.
Yeah.
But then I thought, that's interesting. I can afford tea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why am I living from scarcity? Why am I acting like I'm poor?
Hmm.
So subconsciously, I was sending a message to myself. And
Hmm.
same if you're drinking your tea from a chipped mug, you can afford a mug that's not chipped. What
Mm.
does that subconsciously tell you about yourself? That you don't deserve to have a proper mug, that you don't deserve a fresh bag of tea. This is so under the conscious level, but once you become aware of it, you're like, that's interesting,
Okay.
and using words like I can't afford it,
Yeah.
it really becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So it all goes into the subconscious mind, or comes from the subconscious mind, basically. Okay.
Exactly.
So if I'm drinking from a chipped mug,
Hmm.
I'm not, but just
Hmm.
as an example. So
Hmm.
I'll tell myself, well, I love this mug because I've had it since I was 2 years old, for example.
Hmm.
So would
Hmm.
that change anything, or is it still a chipped mug? And my
It's a
mind,
chipped mug. Bacteria is going to grow in that chip, for
oh,
one thing.
thank
For
you.
one thing. But is that who you want to be? Do you want to be that person that's stuck in the
Mm,
past, and drinking from a chip that's a mug that's damaged? Or do
oh,
you want to go and buy the most beautiful mug that really speaks to you and makes you happy? And it could be a vintage mug if you're attached to those memories. But then every time you drink from that mug, you feel abundant. It
mm.
makes it elevates your vibration, and it just attracts more of that
So
good
we are
stuff.
back to the law of
Whatever.
attraction.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying the law of attraction doesn't work. Of course it
Mm.
works, but there's just more to it.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that. And the chip mug is blocking
Oh, let me have a look
that
around
law
at
from
that.
working.
Oh,
See,
that's
this is
cool.
the old, this is my old past coming through, right? The
Yeah,
professional organizer in me, that's the
exactly.
first thing we would get rid of. Anything damaged, anything broken, because it constantly sends a subconscious message that you live in a scarce universe, and you don't. You live
Right.
in an abundant universe.
Mm.
It's all out there for us to have. It
Oh.
really is. It's just believing that for yourself and believing that you deserve it. So the self-worth issue comes up,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Again, the chip mug. You deserve better than that.
Mm.
Be the person that you want to be, the person that welcomes good things in your life, starting with the little things. I'm not saying to go out there and buy a Cartier watch or whatever, floats your boat. It's not my thing. But anyway, I'm not saying go from, 0 to 100, but just
Mm.
gradually become aware of how you are living in scarcity and
Mhm.
start bringing abundance into your life in small ways.
Yeah.
It sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind that you are now someone who deserves beautiful things. And you
Okay.
are. We all are.
So from I don't know, I very often hear 60 pounds per session or 50 pounds per session. So I would get myself that new mug. I would then say, okay, my price is now 90 pounds or 100, which is still not really enough. And so that the mechanics behind it is I would be more confident. So I would have a different
Yes.
body language. Is that it? So the client would
You
be
would
like,
be more
oh yes, she
confident.
knows what she's doing. I'll book with her. Is
Yes.
that what it is? Okay.
Confidence is the number one thing,
Yeah.
right? But it's got to come from inside to be authentic,
Hmm.
because, people are calibrating you when they first meet you. It's not, think about it, it's not just the five senses, right? It's everything else that's going on when you first meet someone. You get this gut feeling about them.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be that congruency that, yes, you don't necessarily have to be perfect. You don't have every aspect of your life, perfect. It's not about that. It's
Hmm.
about tapping into that inner confidence that you believe what you are offering is life-changing, and it is.
Hmm.
It's transformative,
Yeah.
and they're not paying you for the hour.
Yeah.
This is a common misconception. They are paying for the
Yeah.
transformation.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but if I had a debilitating fear, I would pay as much as I could scrape out of my bank account. I would get a second job. I would do whatever I had to do
Yeah.
to pay for that.
Yeah.
And people do for other things. Isn't that
That's true.
interesting?
Yeah, they have to have the newest iPhone and they
Mhm.
can pay for that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever noticed that, people who can't afford iPhones are still buying iPhones?
Yeah.
They see the value, you
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
Even if they can't afford it, they find a way. And that's what I'm saying.
Mm, that's true. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Because we've got lots of people on this call. If you have questions, put them in. Anything you want to know, any situation you have. Um, so what else are the characteristics of people, therapists who are not charging enough? So they're not confident, they have this body language, they have a cluttered house, etc. What else can we talk
And
about?
not necessarily a cluttered house. It could be people that are very successful
Mm,
externally as well, but
mhm.
deep down they have that I'm not good enough feeling.
Yeah.
And that just requires some healing. We know we're
Mm,
therapists. And so if we heal that part, which has really, sometimes it's not about the money, right? The issue is never the issue,
yeah.
right? It comes down to self-worth. So
Mhm.
once you feel good about who you are, and that comes with the different tools and modalities that we will be offering.
Yeah.
Once you feel good about who you are, it's just going to naturally spill over into every area, not just money,
Mm.
because we know money affects relationships. Whoops. Right, did I
Can't hear
lose you?
that.
Yeah, so we know that money affects relationships.
Hmm.
It affects where you live. It affects, how you raise your kids.
Yeah.
It affects whether or not you could do what you love or have to stay stuck to a 9 to 5 job you hate.
Hmm.
So it's about making it sustainable. You
Yeah.
know, so it always comes from the deep inside self-worth. And I don't know what it always looks from the outside. It's hard to recognize someone that's in that situation
Mm.
from the outside, but people
Yeah.
know who they are, you
Hmm.
know, and I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started my business, and I almost choked when I had to tell them, what I charged. This is my previous business.
Mm.
But with the organize or with the hypnosis, God, I see the value in it. I see the immediate value in it. I know it's going to change people's lives,
Yeah.
and I need to have a sustainable business. I
Mm.
don't have a money tree in the backyard as much as I'd love one.
Yeah.
And so, I need to charge a decent amount for myself, for my clients, and for the industry. And
Yes.
I'm
You
very
want to know the value.
comfortable
Yeah. Mm.
saying what I charge. So
Yeah.
how do you know you need this course? If you're choking on, charging what you really want to charge and what you know you're worth, that's a good sign.
Yeah. But if you, I mean, we always talk about, or very often talk about not getting enough clients. Would
Hmm.
that be another sign of it? So you are charging enough. Some people
Hmm.
pay the price,
Yeah.
but you're not
Yeah.
getting any clients. You're not advertising, marketing yourself enough. Would that be a sign
Yes.
of money blocks as well? Okay.
It can
Yeah.
be. It definitely can be. Yeah.
Yeah. So again,
It's
goes back.
self-sabotage. So self-sabotage comes in a lot of different packages.
Hmm. Right.
Right? But at the end of the day, you're repelling abundance and success. It could be even a fear of failure. It could be fear of success. Sometimes people think, oh, I don't want to become too big for my britches, right?
Ah,
That's a
yeah.
limiting belief. I don't know if that's a Canadian thing, actually. Does it make sense? Have you heard that?
Yeah, too big for my britches. Somebody
Yeah.
who knows what it is.
So what that
Yeah,
means is, will the people that we hang out with now all of a sudden not want to hang out with us because we are
yeah,
this successful person? Are they going to expect more from me? Am I going to lose my balance, my
oh
family
yeah,
balance, family life balance? That's a big one. If I
yeah,
become successful, a limiting belief is if
yeah.
I become successful, then I'm going to be so busy, I'm not going to have time to, spend with my family. Of
That's
course, that's
true.
not true because you'll have money to hire people to do all that stuff for you. So you will have more
Yeah,
free time and you can go on vacation with your family and not worry about the business because you have people running it for you because you're so successful, right?
that's true.
So
Yeah,
once we uncover these beliefs, we can really look at them and say, are they true? Because
yeah,
most of the time they're not, right?
yeah. That's right.
Yeah. And we
Oh,
will be, by the way, we will be replacing the limiting beliefs with power phrases. And so, what
ah,
can you say instead? We're going to take away the limiting beliefs, but anytime you take something away, you have to put something good back,
yeah,
right? It's like when I used to declutter homes and we took away the old cluttery, furniture and paperwork and all of that. Then we would bring in the beautiful things,
yeah,
right? And you can't really decorate a cluttered home, just like you can't bring in good affirmations in a
mhm,
cluttered mind full of negative beliefs.
yeah,
And so the power phrases are what we put in instead, what we install that
mhm,
makes us feel good. Instead of that critical voice that says we're not good enough, we turn to the power phrase that says we are enough, we do enough, we have enough, and
mhm.
we are welcoming more.
All right. So where are the limits? Let's say you've got somebody who's not charging what they're worth because, people around me don't have the money. You know, I don't want to become too big for my britches. So they've come to your course or, done some personal one-on-one stuff with you. Where do they go? Where do they end up? Like on the way there, hopefully. I mean,
I'm not sure.
to the
Tell
future,
me
to the
again what
to
you
the
mean.
success. Okay, so um, do they tend to get stuck again somewhere, or do they just like shoot up or to the sky,
Well, we know that personal
everything fireworks?
growth, I think I understand what you mean. I
Yeah,
think
sorry.
personal growth is very much like peeling an onion. And I
Hmm.
think there's a therapist here that can relate to this, is when a client comes and they'll say, I have anxiety, common
Hmm.
one, right?
Hmm.
So we remove the anxiety, right? Peel the onion. Now there's another layer. Okay,
Hmm.
now the anxiety is gone. I have fear of failure. So we remove that. Okay, now I have fear of success because all of a sudden my life has changed and I'm a little worried to up level because what's going to happen, the uncertainty. So we're constantly, peeling the onion and dealing with the next issue that presents itself.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, I do see a lot of wonderful success stories, and we are peeling the onion so that when new
Yeah.
things come up, then we address them as well.
Hmm.
But it's about your relationship with money. If you, for example, hate rich people, then how could you be one?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you judge wealthy people, then how would you ever become wealthy?
Mm.
It always comes back to the limiting beliefs.
Yeah. That's true. And oh yeah, earlier you were saying something about success. It's I was going to add it's like stepping out of your comfort zone, being successful
Hmm.
and leaving people behind that are holding you back, that are not, that you might be worried about now. Is that always a bad thing, or is that a good thing, leaving people
Exactly. Good
behind?
point. Good point. We are evolving, and some people will come along for the ride, and others, the purpose of our relationship maybe has already been met,
Mm.
and that's okay too. However, I find that a lot of people, when they do reach that place of success, they want to give back. So they want to take their friends out for dinner more often or take them on vacation, take their family out on vacation. So that's a good way to win friends, not lose them.
Oh, well, that's a good one. We have a question here, or no, actually, some addition. Patricia says, the first year I made more money than my husband. I made more money than my husband was an eye opener. Okay, in what way? I'm curious now. So an eye opener in terms of positive things, I hope.
Does that person want to jump
That's
on?
Pat.
We can have a discussion.
Do you want to jump on or just add to that, Pat?
Well, I had a really hard time with it. I didn't know how my husband was going to take it. How stupid is that, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, but he did not take it well the first year. Then when it happened again the next year, it was like, oh, okay, that's okay. And I noticed that my self blossomed after that. It was like, I wasn't a threat to him,
Hmm.
because he acted
Mm.
like I was, and we've been together a very long time. We'll be married 50 years this year. So we, yeah.
So Patricia, hearing that you've been married 50 years makes me guess that your husband might have been raised with the belief that men should make more than their wives. Do you think that that might be a
Oh,
possibility?
absolutely. And, even like his parents didn't own a home, they rented all their lives, that kind of thing. My mother told me I could never have a home, and I was like, yeah, screw that. And I got into real estate when I was really young just to make sure I had property,
I love it.
so
Yeah, it's so it was your husband's limiting beliefs, but credit to you, you stuck with it, and I think he saw you as an example, and maybe he shifted his belief a little bit from that.
yeah, yeah, I
And
think
we
so.
we can only be responsible for our own
But
mindset and
but
our own
that
journey.
first thing, it's like anything else, people who think they can't have this, they can't do that. No, I'm not worthy, blah blah blah. It was like, oh my God, you know. So it was like a mirror thing. So anyway, thank you.
It's good to
Thank
hear
you.
that you resonate, and I think as women especially, I don't know if there's any men on this call. Is it all women, Astrid?
There was no, there's one or two men as well. Yeah,
Oh, there's one or two men. Yeah,
one.
great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that
Because
brings
I
us.
do find that women do struggle for some reason. They do struggle with this more.
Mhm.
And, when you think back, women weren't earning money for themselves. I mean, it's not that long ago
Yeah.
that a woman's place is in the home, right? Another limiting belief. And so I think we've had to struggle even harder to get past that ceiling. And that's why I want to do this exercise whenever we're ready,
Yeah.
is just to get outside that comfort zone of money because we can raise that. I think about this story that someone once told me about an elephant that was tethered to a chain. And so, he struggled at the beginning to get loose from the chain and he couldn't. And then they took the chain off, and yet he still never ventured out
Yeah.
because he was so used to staying in that comfort zone. And
Yeah.
I think we can be that way too. And we just need someone to say, hey, the chains are off. You can fly. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I want to do this exercise. Can we jump into it, Astrid? Is that
You
okay?
want
Or
to?
should we take
I
some
was
more questions? We can take more
um
questions first, but I really encourage people to stay till the end because we've got this hypnosis that's going to get you outside the comfort zone by raising your comfort with money. Just like a thermometer, you can adjust the thermometer a little higher.
I think, yeah, we do need that. Everybody's going to stay on, I'm sure. But money and relationships, is that a big issue?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think I read somewhere that problems with money is the number one killer of relationships.
Wow.
People break up, people fight, and we all bring our own beliefs around money too, which makes it really tricky.
Yeah.
There needs to be a lot of communication between couples about money because everyone was raised a certain way. Some people are savers, some people are spenders,
Mm.
and all of that. But I would say most people who have money fight less about it.
Well, that's another good reason to actually do something about your money ceiling. Is that
Yeah.
what you call it? Money ceiling?
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that's
exactly
right.
it.
Everybody ready? Everybody's still got their camera on.
That's okay. That's all right. It'll allow me to calibrate a little bit with people too. So that's totally fine either way. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to do a hypnotic meditation or a hypnosis to expand your financial comfort zone. And it's like a thermostat, right? You can set a thermostat wherever you want. You set the temperature. And so we want to bring down the self-sabotaging and gradually raise the comfort with money to bring down the resistance so that we open the floodgates to money and abundance and success, whatever that means to you. So find a comfortable position where you won't be disturbed for the next 15 minutes or so, maybe a little less than that. And just allow your body to settle and adjust until you feel completely at ease. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly when you're ready through your mouth. And with each breath, feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, Let go of any tension in your shoulders and neck. And one more deep breath in, and just allowing any remaining tension to melt away like an ice cube in the sunshine. That's it. Now imagine yourself in a peaceful room. The temperature is perfect, the lighting is soothing, and you feel completely safe and secure. In front of you, visualize a large, elegant thermometer. But instead of measuring temperature, this thermometer measures your comfort with money and abundance. The thermometer has numbers along the side representing different income levels. At the bottom, notice your earliest memory of earning money. Perhaps it was pocket money or your first job. Go ahead and see that number clearly. Notice how comfortable and familiar that number feels. Let your eyes drift up the thermometer now to your current income level. See that number glowing softly. Notice how this number feels in your body. Is there tension or is there ease? Simply observe these sensations without any judgment. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. As I count, I'd like you to watch the mercury in your thermometer begin to rise slowly, representing a 20% increase in your income. Go ahead and do that now. Notice any sensations or thoughts that float up. 1, the mercury begins to move. 2, rising slowly. 3, notice any resistance. 4, allow the mercury to continue rising. 5, the mercury settles at this new level. Take a moment now to sit with this new number. Notice any physical sensations in your body. Perhaps there's a tightness in your chest or butterflies in your stomach. These are simply your old money stories making themselves known. What I'd like you to do now is imagine, only imagine, just pretend a warm golden light surrounding the thermometer. This light, it represents your infinite potential. As this light grows brighter, watch as any resistance begins to dissolve now. The parts of you that feel unworthy or uncertain are gently bathed in this golden light. Once again, I'll count from 1 to 5. This time, watch as the mercury rises to double your current income. Remember, this is just an exploration. There's no pressure to do anything with these numbers, at least not right now. 1, the Mercury begins its gentle ascent. 2, rising steadily. 3, notice any thoughts or feelings without getting caught up in them. 4, allow yourself to expand into this new possibility. 5, the Mercury settles at this new level. Sit with this doubled number for a moment. Notice what comes up for you. If there's resistance, simply acknowledge it with compassion. These are old protective patterns that served you once, but may no longer be necessary. Now, imagine that golden light growing even brighter and brighter. Feel it warming any cold spots of doubt or fear. Let it remind you that you are worthy of abundance in all its forms. You are worthy. Take a deep breath and actually feel what it would feel like to be earning this new amount. How would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make? How would you feel waking up each morning? The interesting thing about this thermometer is that it responds to your beliefs. So as you become more comfortable with each passing day, more comfortable with higher numbers, the Mercury naturally rises to meet your expanding comfort zone. Yes, as you become more comfortable with the higher numbers, it's a simple thing for the Mercury to rise naturally and meet your expanding comfort zone. Now, let's anchor this new possibility. Go ahead and place your hand over your heart. You can go ahead and do that. Now, place your hand over your heart and feel its steady beating. The rhythm of abundance already flowing through you. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am worthy of expanding prosperity. I am worthy of expanding prosperity. Because you are worthy of expanding prosperity. As we prepare to end this meditation, know that this thermometer remains with you, within you. You are free to turn it on anytime to check your comfort levels and expand them gently. And so remember, you can return to this thermometer anytime you like from this moment forward and check your comfort levels and perhaps gently expand them as you move forward. And so keep in mind that this thermometer, this imaginary thermometer, it's something you can always return to check your comfort levels and gently expand them. That's right. And now I'll count back from 5 to 1. And with each number, you'll feel yourself becoming more alert while maintaining this sense of expanded possibility. 5, gently becoming more aware of your surroundings. 4, bringing with you these new insights about money. 3, feeling refreshed and inspired. 2, knowing you can return to this visualization anytime. 1, opening your eyes when you're ready, feeling empowered and aligned with abundance.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone.
Ooh.
What was that like for you?
That was pretty good. Everyone, put your comments in the chat if you like. Refreshing. Ah, there's some smileys with hearts. Ah, there you go.
Beautiful. And I'm so glad we recorded this because now people can come back to it whenever they want. Because you know what? We all have these, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee in our head that says, you're not good enough. You know, it's like, okay, stop. And I like to imagine a stop sign actually when I hear that because it's just natural, right?
Yeah.
I see that stop sign and then I return to something that fills me up with the good stuff. And so people can do that if you find that, you know, that itty bitty shitty committee is giving you some limiting beliefs, feeding you lies that are not supporting you, come back to this, listen to it. I don't think it took very long. It was probably under 10 minutes and just feel good again.
Yeah, it did do that. And we've got comments. There we go. There they all came in. I'll read them out. Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. I loved listening to this and I'm excited to hear it again. There you go. Yeah.
Awesome.
That was really good. Thank
you.
you.
So if anyone here is coming to Ireland, the presentation I am doing with my 3 sisters from another mister, the hypnosis healers, you know, 3 very powerful and compassionate women who are very excited to come just as I am. Our presentation is called Money Mindset, Charge Your Worth and Build a Thriving Business. And I think you can see that it's going to spill over to areas far beyond just a thriving business.
Yeah.
Based on our conversations today. So I do hope that you come. And we are also digging even deeper, diving into more healing tools on the 7th with the post-conference workshop. So that is called Healing Money Blocks. Wow. And so I hope that you will join us for one or both of those presentations, and sky's the limit.
Yay. Wonderful. That sounds great. Make your money back on the ticket because...
Oh, way more. Tenfold. Yes.
Okay.
The odds are better than Vegas, I'll tell you that.
I'm sure they are. So what we're going to do is we will put all the links into the show notes and into the Facebook group, into the comments that we need. That will be the hypnosishealers.ca, helenthehypnotist.com, irishhypnotherapyconference.ie, where you can get your ticket for the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. If you would like to get 10% off the price, because the early bird is passed, of course, then you can use the code ASTRID, ASTRID, And we will put the YouTube link to your other, the one you said with
Yes,
the
we'll send that to you right
with
now.
the toy. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we do hope you come to Ireland. I will be presenting as well on reframing tinnitus for better client outcomes. There is a lot that we don't know yet, that you don't know yet, that I didn't know yet a year ago, and nobody knew because the science wasn't out. So that's going to help you work better with your clients, give them more belief and more positive expectation of the outcome of your sessions. Okay, what else do we need? I think we've mentioned your course. We've mentioned the conference. If you have any more questions or any more comments, ladies and gents in the audience, then do ask questions and do leave your comments. And anyone who's watching in the replay, we would love to hear your comments, to see what you have to say, what you thought of the meditation. And yeah, as I said, if you want to find Helen, if you want to find the conference, all the links will be below. So thank you very much for coming, Helen. It was lovely to have you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in, oh God, it's going to be in exactly 1 month, isn't it? Oh, so exciting. So
thank you. This was so much fun.
Replay will be up tonight, I think. And then let's see what you all think. Oh yeah, let's read out. Thank you so much, Helen and Astrid. Thank you. Loved listening. Okay, superb. Thank you all very much for coming, and bye-bye. See you next week or the week after that.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. That was fantastic. Bye.
Thank you too. Bye.